Good afternoon and a warm welcome. You're watching Education News Network, and today we're bringing to you a fresh new topic of discussion that is, has teacher training become more crucial during COVID times? And for that, we have with us a panel of eminent educators from different parts of the country who will be joining us in this panel discussion today. So let's welcome our first panelist of the day. We have Mrs. Neera Singh, the principal of Rajmata Krishna Kumari Girls Public School, Jodhpur. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on our show today. Our next panelist is Ms. Chandrama Pradhan, the principal of Shri Shri Academy, Siliguri. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
We then have Mrs. Padmashri M., the principal of Vidya Sauda Public School, Bengaluru. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for giving us your time today. And lastly, we have Mrs. Sudeshna Sharma, the principal of Banyan Tree School, Chandigarh. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So to discuss our topic of the day, let's invite our first panelist, Mrs. Neera Singh. Ma'am, could you please tell us your opinion on the topic today?
Thank you very much. The topic is a very pertinent one. Has teacher learning become more crucial during COVID time? Now, before I begin, I need to kind of bring to light that every crisis comes with challenges and opportunities for transformation. The speed at which the closures and the rapid move to distance learning resulted in a lot of challenges and drawbacks for the teachers. There was little time for planning. There was transition that was totally unexpected. After that, distance learning approaches like making videos, e-notes, resource material had to be quickly accumulated. Sitting alone, quietly watching videos, reading documents online, clicking on links, presentations, this suddenly became the new normal for a teacher. Then, on top of it, balancing professional life in the environment of homes was a very strange phenomenon. After that, the challenge was also to build and maintain a positive class culture, procure a new set of skills to keep the students engaged in virtual settings, maintaining online discipline, such a big challenge, making classes lively and interesting. Developing technological skills. Half of the teachers were not very computer confident. Upskilling, standardization, adapting to online creativity to deliver effectively. These were the challenges that were really faced by all the teachers. After that, the teacher had little or no previous experience in blended or virtual environments. This is the first time they were hit with something so hard and they had to adapt to it very quickly. Lack of person-to-person contact. The difficulty was tremendous. And on top, communication on digital devices, needing to manage time, self-organize, alignment with the curriculum because we had a syllabus to complete, manage stress coming from all corners. These were the issues that really came into the forefront. Now, after this, what each school, including ours, had to strive towards empowerment of its teachers. So the focus had to be on trying to get the teachers to follow the new normal. And after that, the teacher training had to involve both content and form. The focus had to be on CPD, that is continuous professional development, along with student learning. Also, we had to address the student learning loss. The learning outcomes were very questionable. So the teachers had to be trained how to address the learning loss of a student. After that, the need was to think beyond COVID-19. And COVID-19, we had to tell the teachers was here to stay for a long time. We had to work towards building a greater resilience in our education system. We had to invest a lot in the high quality of teacher education, training, continuous professional development, and basically upskilling of the existing teacher force that we had in our school. Now, equipping every teacher with skills to teach remotely, online, through hybrid learning, whether in high, low, or no tech environments. This was the real challenge, and this is what we needed to do during these COVID times. Basically, technology cannot replace a teacher, but a teacher who uses technology will certainly replace one who doesn't. So these are my views on the topic.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Chandrama Pradhan, could you give us your opinion, please?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And thank you very much for inviting us to talk about a topic which is close to all of us who are present here today. So education has always been a very powerful agency for bringing about change in the social, political, economic, and cultural life of people. And this is the whole process, and there are a number of agents who are involved, and the most important one is the teacher. And the teacher is again directly responsible in the process of learning. A student learns and benefits or suffers from the quality of teaching. Therefore, teachers not only have to be qualified, but also have to be competent. And today there is also a need to shift from the traditional based teaching methodology to a more educational process where it is more research based. And therefore teachers need to be trained anyway for it. And teacher training has definitely become more crucial during COVID times. None of us who are associated with schools, I'm sure who are present here today, have ever had to, adopt this new concept, because now with the school shutting down, we had to give way to online classes, which is a new concept in India. We are used to having children come to school every morning, spend a couple of hours with us, study and learn new things, whether inside the classroom or outside the classroom. So first, it is a very new concept. And like Ma'am Meera said, the teachers needed to first adapt that to that situation, and then adopt new methods of reaching out to the children. So it is, it's commendable how all the institutions have moved to this virtual classroom, and at a war footing, if I may put it so. Because March, the schools, the lockdown started, and that was the fag end of the academic year for all of us. And in the first week of April, most of the schools were supposed to reopen. And then the children were still at home, so were the teachers, so was, us also, because that was the peak period of the lockdown. So for us to move forward, ensure that the children do not lose out on anything because they are at home, was something that we had to work on. All of us teachers and educators had to put an extra effort to engage the students in classes by revamping the timetable, by having discussions with our teachers, online discussions, with having, even the teachers had peer-to-peer sessions on how do we conduct online classes, because most of us are not familiar with conducting classes online. We are used to the traditional method of classroom. There could have been, there are sessions where there is distance learning happening. There were online, courses happening. But to have online classes every day initially we thought it would go for a month, then 2 months, and then it continued. So it took us a lot of time, and teachers had to share with each other how do we use the different service providers, for example, the Google Classroom, or it could be Zoom classes, or it could be Microsoft Teams, whichever one each school felt was they were comfortable using. So they were constantly, trying to understand how to use this tool, training ourselves. Because at that time, I don't think any of us got help in getting trained at that moment. So we just learned online, all of us. That's what happened with me and my teachers also. Fortunately for us, my teachers are quite computer savvy, and we were already using iPads in the classroom. So what happened was even when they were at home, along with the books, they did have the iPad with them. So quickly they started making lesson plans on the iPad, and then we started sharing these with the children, and then we started having regular online classes. So, and for some, maybe it was a major shift for some schools, for some of the teachers, but definitely there was a lot of learning. And I would say that I think most of the teachers were open to learning and adopting to this new system. So there is a definite need for teachers to receive adequate educational and professional training from experts in the field to get more knowledge in order to be able to teach even better. This year we may all be a little more better prepared. And the experts say that ideally teachers should receive several days of training for in-depth preparation to conduct online for this kind of online learning program. So there also you need strategies where the teachers can make instruction engaging for the child. It should have ample time. The teacher should also get ample time to practice technology. And so initially we may not have received any training at all, but now I guess over the year we have picked up a certain methods of getting trained. CBSE also has come up with certain online modules. We had our own trust also who has trained most of us in working online. So when, because knowledge is not something static, it is a continuous process otherwise also. And the role of the teachers is changing every day. So the need for teacher training is of vital importance today, and where teachers not only acquire the new skills, but also improve in the students' learning. Yeah, because that our end objective is to ensure that the students learn, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's online. So it was a very important, I mean, it's very important for us to learn and to train ourselves, and whether it is during the COVID period or otherwise also. So good quality teacher training, professional development program, along with a motivating environment definitely helps the teachers. And also to ensure that the teachers are not stressed out, because the very thought of technology can sometimes make a teacher very stressed. So to ensure that give them assurance that it is something that you can do. So this is very
important to cater to. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. So moving on to our next panelist, Mrs. Padmashri M. Could you please tell us, do you think teacher training has become more crucial during COVID times?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I think first of all, let me give my humble salutations to all the teachers world over who have taken up this uphill task in adapting to the new situation that has arisen due to this COVID situation, right? So if really, I don't think that really we had a very tough time training the teachers, because even otherwise, when the pandemic started last year in the month of March, I think we started preparing. Of course, we were very uncertain, as uncertainties were looming large at that time as what will happen. We started with, every school has a software, and we started sharing the notes, PPTs, everything to the students. But only later, after 2 months, and when the things kept on prolonging, did we realize that it is not going to be sufficient, whatever we are doing. Then the question of the virtual classroom teaching came into force. Till then, yes, technology was a part of the teaching learning process that has been happening. And I think most of the schools, they use technology. Maybe in rural areas, yes, it has been a very cumbersome task for the schools there as to how to reach out to the students. That is there. But as far as the international schools and the elite schools that are there in cities like us, we did not face much problem because the teachers were already trained as to how to use technology in terms of teaching. That was going on. But yes, after we realized that a virtual classroom has to begin, then there was a big question mark. How would the teaching, which was limited to the 4 walls of the classroom, would shift to the 4 walls of the house of a child? And one more thing that was a big challenge was, in the classroom, it is only the students that you are, teaching to. But now being in the house, it was not only the students, but we had hidden students. I always, when I, conduct online meetings, I tell my parents that you are all the hidden students for me, because you are also virtually there attending the classes of your students and monitoring them. Yes, of course, there was an upgradation that was needed. As Nirja ma'am said, yes, resource-based professional development was very much the need of the hour. And as Sudeshna ma'am also suggested that, yes, collaboration is also needed at that point of time. And we did, when the training was conducted for the teachers, I think they were very quick enough to grasp it within a day or two. And when we, whatever the platform the schools use, the MS Teams or the Google platform, whatever it is there. And I could see the excitement in the eyes of the teacher, when they started the virtual classroom. It was just like a new toy is given to a teacher and to a small kid to see, and the child has the anxiety to see what is there more in it. It was like that for the teachers. And I'm very happy that most of the teachers have taken up this challenging way of teaching, and they have come out and they have explored and found out new ways to reach out to the students. And it is not only limited to the content teaching, but it is also to deal with the emotional quotient of the students as well in this pandemic situation. And it is not only the students, let me tell you, as I feel that even the emotional quotient, the financial aspect, the social aspect, all these things of the teachers also matter a lot here, because they are also under stress, as Sudeshna ma'am rightly, Chandrama ma'am rightly said, the stress is there on the teacher. You know, the preparing and then accepting the new challenges was not that easy. But of course, the teachers have really learned a lot and they have come forward. And I feel that I must admit that on a large scale, now generally people, you know, have been talking about, rather I can say commenting, whether the teacher is capable of teaching or not. Instead of that, they should rather encourage the technological professional development that has to be given to the teacher. But very few know the practical difficulties that are involved in it. Of course, the training part of the teacher training has become crucial, no doubt about it, but we have tided over this in this year. The phase is over, and now the teachers are much more well equipped to, you know, take it forward in the next academic year, because we know that the situation is going to continue for some time, even in the next academic year. So training is not just limited to deliverance of lessons using various tools, but it also should deal with the EQ of the student, that is the emotional quotient of the student, and their attention span. That is what is required. So I feel that now teachers are very well equipped and they know how to go about it. And of course, it will not be fair if I don't mention that, yes, a majority of the parent community also appreciate and acknowledge the efforts that are put in by the teachers. So it is we who have to see that the support is given to them. They are already equipped. And in what better way we can equip themselves and give that support that will boost that confidence to go further and to see that this trend continues. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So Mrs. Sudeshna Sharma, could you speak on the topic, please?
Yeah, very good evening to all of you. I was listening to all my panelist members, and I rightly agree because pandemic has actually brought a massive transformation in education. You know, focusing on learners' outcome is important, but can education system be successful if you know if you are not delivering the education, those who are delivering the education, if they are not fully equipped? So that's where, you know, continuous professional development it comes. Very rightly said by Ma'am Neera that yes, we always, you know, we've been saying that technology cannot replace teachers, but the way she said that now a teacher who is using technology will replace a teacher who is not. So that is very important, because pandemic has shown us that it just took, you know, overnight that everything became digital. And again, hats off to the teachers, the way they have taken up, because see, if we talk about, become digital, technologically sound, or all virtual classes, our children, if you talk, see, they were much more advanced than us. They were updated. You know, teachers had to put that effort, which they did it. They took it as a challenge and they never looked back. So, you know, to keep pace with the students, they really had to work hard. And for that, all these webinars and these training sessions that had really helped the teachers to move forward. Another very important point which I would like to mention, which of course, Madam Padma Shri, she has mentioned about the mental stress of the students. During this time of pandemic, mental stress of the student was a mental health of the students rather was a very major concern. So to make the class, you know, interesting, innovative, to know which tool to use when, that was again a challenge for the teachers. They were not aware. They had to learn every step they were learning, And as a result, this, teaching, learning, the process became much more stronger. We were, before pandemic also, we were, practicing this multidisciplinary learning. But in virtual classes, applying this multidisciplinary learning was tough. Research methodology, how the children are going to do it, how to make, it's very difficult for a child to, sit for 3-4 hours screen time. It's very tough. It's very tough. To make the class interactive, innovative, bring up activities using the tools, which tool to use, that itself was a challenge. And I personally feel what I've seen with my teachers, my team, that they had really picked up and they wanted these, training to take place. And they had really learned a lot. And today I can say they are very confident. You talk about Google Classroom or maybe the tools like Kahoot or, the software like MS Teams, they are very confident. They know what is to be done. Rather, now they are there in that position that they can teach the children well, that this is how you have to do it. So yes, this was a major change, but as we all know, and we all said that this is an opportunity where we've learned, and this was required. Collaborative teaching, creativity, dynamism, this was all required, and we are all doing it confidently now. Hats off to all the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So my first question goes to Mrs. Veera. So, ma'am, we've been talking about how the mental well-being of students was majorly hampered during the pandemic. So did this require, it obviously required more training for the teachers. So how did your school deal with this? Could you take us through that, please?
Yeah, so basically our teachers, when the pandemic struck, it struck like a bolt. So we devised our entire teacher training module into a 3-prong approach. So the 3-prong approach was the deans were given specific tasks of how to train the teachers. So for example, the Dean Academics devised a complete curriculum and how to get activities enrolled and get the curriculum going online is what was the responsibility of the Dean Academics. Then we came to the Dean IT, who made all the teachers very savvy with regard to all the equipments and the forums used in order to deliver the online classes. The question that you have asked me, we had a complete session of my counselor. She's from NIMHANS, Bangalore, and she used to take a 45-minute session with my teachers per day to basically talk about the real issues facing the teacher when she was conducting an online class. It could be with regard to attention span of students. It could be bullying amongst them. It could be parents entering the classes and interfering. It could deal with online ethics. It could deal with the ground rules of an online class. So basically, every discussion used to be threadbare and solutions were offered by the counselor of how to handle these kind of issues. Children were facing a lot of strain, stress, parental aspirations to the extent that why haven't you been able to answer this question that the teacher has asked? So how to deal with a parent, with a child, and the counselor of my school did these multiple sessions whereby the emotional quotient, the happiness quotient, the mental quotient of the student, of the teacher was addressed. So that is how we went on it. It was a hands-down training on by the counselor who had expertise in handling this.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Ms. Chandrama Pradhan, could you tell us how you looked into the mental and emotional well-being of teachers through all of this, through the COVID crisis?
Like I said earlier, the teachers were under a lot of stress. So were the children. It's not like the children don't have stress. They were equally stressed, and also the parents. So our school, we through the year also, we begin the day with yoga and meditation. So what we used to do it during assembly almost every day, every alternate day. Now what we did was once we went onto this lockdown, we created a set timetable for all the children, so that there was online yoga and meditation classes happening for all the children on a very regular basis. We also had session for the teachers and for the parents also. So once a week, we just first tried it out with a group of parents. We got positive feedback from the parents, and then because most of the mothers, parents were staying home also in the initial period of the lockdown. So they also needed to channelize their energy. They needed also to do something different. So we conducted online yoga sessions for the parents as well. Of course, it was nothing like the physical yoga session that we might have had in school, but it was a place where everybody gathered, even though you were at some different places. We were aligned to the same vision and the same activity that was being done at hand. And besides this, we also ensured that the children were kept busy at home. So we gave a list of activities for the parents to ensure that they do at home. Simple things like, helping with the cooking, trying out new dishes at home, planting, because we're very much into planting vegetables and trees around the school other days also. So the same thing we had to encourage the children to do at home. Our music classes were also going online. We also had the art and craft classes going online. So it was not just the core subjects, the scholastic subjects that were being taught. We ensured that these core scholastic subjects were also being incorporated in the timetable, so that the children got to feel that, okay, I am still in touch with my music teacher or the yoga teacher. And besides this, the children were also free to contact the teachers at any point that they felt that they needed to talk to somebody. So similarly with the parents also. Parents had a few questions. We organized webinars for the parents as well. So this is the way we somehow managed to ensure that somehow they were not too stressed. Difficult, but we still did not want to give up on this.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Padmashri, as we know, a major challenge during the pandemic, during remote learning, was addressing student engagement. So how did your school go about that?
Yeah, as Madam Chandrama said, when we started the online classes, I think we also had a timetable set in. And to make it very easy and to make the students relax, we had 45 minutes of virtual classes. In that, five minutes was taken for meditation. And then we started the classes. And after 45 minutes for every class, after that, we had 15 minutes break. That gave ample time for the child to relax for some time. And it was even a relaxation time for the teachers as well to prepare for the next class. Because, physically it is a different scenario. Now on the online platform, we cannot have the classes continuously going on without a break. In the physical classroom, what happens? By the time one teacher gets in, teaches and goes out, there is a time that is there for the child to, settle down before the other teacher enters the classroom. So keeping that in mind, we devised the timetable in such a way that after every 45 minutes, we gave 15 minutes break and the next class started. And when we started initially, we limited it only to 3 classes per day with 15 minutes break in between. And we did not increase it because of the guidelines that were given by our government here. We followed it very strictly. And at the same time, we also had a training session for our teachers. As already Neera ma'am said, we had a counselor who had been, taking sessions for the teachers also, so that they are also not stressed out. And the best thing that we did was that we requested the teachers to keep it as much as possible activity-based learning. And we made it very clear that we are not in the rat race to complete the portions. We told, let us focus on the basics and let children enjoy learning. That is what is more important, rather than stressing the students to complete the syllabus and take the exams. And of course, examines, everyone has a fear. Now with the virtual classrooms, there was a big question mark. How would the online exams or tests go on? That was also a very big challenge for us. And first test we conducted in the form of Google Forms that we issued, so that we could see whether really the students are interested, how they are going to take it up. Of course, there have been challenges, so we have been trying to keep it, learning with fun, what we always believe in terms of teaching and learning process. We have always been doing that. And I really felt happy when I saw the children involving themselves in doing activities. And not only that, even the parents, they came forward helping the students to do up these activities, which we had not seen not seen such involvement from the parents earlier when the physical classroom was there. Another thing that I noticed is, I don't know whether it is the same with others, the students who were not coming forward to speak in the classroom were able to come forward and clarify their doubts with the teacher. That was really an amazing experience that I had this year. And I felt very happy that this virtual classroom is able to reach out to every student of the classroom. And we made it a point that, when the teacher takes the class, even when the teacher is interacting with the students, to ensure that today the one set of students you are going to interact with, the other day the chance should be given to the other set of students, so that they will not be left alone in this process of learning, and they will come back with that same excitement and interest to learn. So definitely it has been a very nice learning process journey for the students as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So my last question is to Mrs. Sudeshna Sharma. Ma'am, could you take us through some of the major challenges that your school faced during the teacher training process in the online mode, and how did you overcome those?
So the entire thing, at the beginning was a challenge for the teachers. So what we did was that moment we got to know that, yes, this will continue, we immediately first we made a proper planning. We were not in haste that, okay, immediately tomorrow we have to start the classes. So we had to make a proper planning. First thing is that we had worked on Zoom. Now, we were actually clueless, most of us were clueless that how to operate Zoom, especially the online ethics, because once the challenge is what you were saying, when we had started classes on Zoom, so we did not know the proper norms of it. So children were, the Zoom link was shared with, the children were sharing with others. Others were entering the class. We did not know what is waiting room. We did not know how to disable the chat. So all those systems, first thing is that we took time to have proper training, we internal training for how to use technology properly. So that is the first thing we had. Next is we started using gradually when we had learned first thing how to use Zoom. Then we had taken help of Microsoft Teams. Now uploading the assignments, correcting it, teaching the students, more than the students, we had to have constant orientation with the parents. So that was again a major challenge, but finally parents had really supported. They also took all the sessions along with us, that how to upload the assignments, how to give it on time. Again, during examination, we had faced problem because we knew, we at the beginning only, we started with the open book system. We did not give them an opportunity to say that, okay, the children will be looking from the book and writing. So we were very open with the children, with the parents, that we need to support the young ones this time. So we had open book system, but we had framed the questions in such a manner that there were no direct questions. If they even if they took time and find out the answers, they wouldn't have found out the answers. We had faced challenge while taking Viva. So we had divided the entire weightage. We put more weightage on Viva. Now, when we were having Viva, teachers were sitting at 8:30 in the morning, of course with breaks, but they were continuing till 6:37 in the evening, taking each child, say, around 30-35 minutes of Viva. So these were the challenges, of course, we had faced, but it was, at the end of the day, it was very, very interesting. It was an opportunity for all of us to learn. And the best part was teachers and students, as ma'am was mentioning just now. Yes, children, they had supported us. It wouldn't have been possible without the support of the children. It's a record that in my school, not a single child had missed online classes, which I was very surprised. You know, physically, when they come to school, they'd miss their classes so many times. You know, they take off, they take leave for some reasons or the other. But this time when I had seen 100% attendance in most of the classes, I cannot say all, but in most of the classes, especially the senior ones, they did a commendable job. You know, with the juniors, there's never a problem. They are always that they show their over enthusiasm. They are over enthusiastic about doing the activities in the class. And last thing what we did is we had never given any homework that you sit and this is what we've taught and this is the homework what you have to do at home. We wanted quality time to be spent with the parents because that was a very crucial time what all of us were undergoing. So whatever we did in the school, in the class during our online classes. So yes, time was a constraint. Teachers were facing problem balancing their family life, but yes, they did not look back. Day and night they worked, and I think now they are very comfortable.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of you for being here today.
Thank you.
And with that, we come to the end of this interesting panel discussion. I hope we've answered most of your queries about why and how teacher training is more crucial during COVID times. Due to time constraints, we could only take a few questions, but please do write to us in case of any additional queries you may have, and we'll be glad to take them offline. For more such videos, do log on to our website, theenn.com, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. For now, signing off, Nitya.